Well, since our last interview, Katt Williams,
he went off.
The whole rampage.
Holy shit!
The whole rampage that he did on Club Shay Shay. And he accused certain comedians of stealing jokes.
Yeah.
Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey. I think he may have mentioned a few others.
Yeah.
As someone who went through everything you went through of being accused of stealing jokes, to see other major comedians being accused of it, how'd you feel?
Bothers me. I hate it. I hate the insecurities. Look, let's be real. Like, I know that coming from me, this might sound tainted, whatever. It's real. No comedian that can't write is ever going to be popular. No one joke, especially a joke that was stolen or is retread or is in the zeitgeist or whatever, no one joke has ever made any one comedian great, right? A bit has, iconic bits have, but once that iconic bit is iconic and you do it, it's not iconic anymore anyway. Yeah. So it's never gonna give you that thing. I've never delved into that. I look at it like, it's what I was talking about earlier when we first were talking, and I said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that joke. You know, the one about the pets and the eating because way too many people are doing it. That's just my way of staying away from the fray of this shit.
Yeah.
But I know that right now, as we speak, there are thousands of people that did it online and hundreds of comedians that are going to do it on stage tonight. Which one of them stole it?
Yeah. No, look,
which one did it first? Which one is the one who you claim it to? Which one is the one that you say he originated it? And then you're going to tell him he originated it and he's the only one that thought of that? He's the only one that thought of voodoo because they're Haitians. He's the only one that thought, why are they eating cats and dogs and the geese and you know what I'm saying?
Look, I had Deal Hughley on my show recently, right? He's a regular guest. Me and him go back.
Love Deal.
Yeah, that's my man. Lives down the street from me. And he said that he's never known of a single comedian that has not stolen a joke at some point, him included. In fact, he went into a story about how he had stolen one of Robin Harris's jokes and Tommy Davidson confronted him with it.
Right.
It happens with everybody. But
I don't think he means, I don't know if he meant stole it or he meant he did something similar.
No, he said he stole it.
Oh, he did steal it.
So you've stolen jokes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Who did you steal from?
I was a kid. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I used to take Robert, when I first started out 30 years ago, it was Robin Harris.
Aha.
Yeah. And I remember Tommy Davidson, we were at this place. It's not even open no more. It was on Encino and Balboa in the Valley. And Tommy Davidson came up to me and goes, I think I've been doing comedy maybe a year. And Tommy Davidson came up to me and he said, hey man, you know that's Robin Harris stuff. And I wanted to fight Tommy. But he was right. And right then and there, I learned I'm not doing that no more.
That's early in his career. And he really looked up to Robin Harris.
Wait, early in your career, it's not stealing. When you're first forming yourself as a comedian, the problem is that things change sometimes between the 90s and the 2000s. So in the 90s, when comedians would talk about coming up, right? Chris Rock would say, oh man, when I first started, I was Richard Pryor. I did all his stuff. Chappelle, I was doing Pryor's jokes, right? It was okay. It was almost like the training wheels of comedy. It was almost like a kid out there with a basketball and he's going, I'm gonna do LeBron's moves or Kobe's moves or Jordan's moves, whatever that thing is, right? Then inevitably it becomes them. So when comedians are young, we're all very simple. We're all very basic and we all do shit that's retread, that's easy, that's simple, that's done. But I don't know of any actual good comedian who got past that stage and then ever did that again. Because the stuff is just so personal once you become a decent comedian. I hate that it gets put out there. I hate that people who read this stuff are under the impression that only one comedian can do a joke about being in a car with their girlfriend/wife and saying, where do you want to eat? Wherever. What about this place? Not there. What about this place? Not there. What about this place? Not there. Well, you fucking said whatever. The version of that joke has been told by hundreds of comedians. But do you know why? Because that moment in time is very real to so many people. Every man that has ever been in a moment like that has done that. Every woman has done that. And so it's not about the joke itself. At that point, it's about the connective tissue of humanity. I don't know what the jokes were, but a lot of that stuff is just comedians. You know when I let the stuff go, bro? I let it go when Carlos Santana said to me, brother, nobody owns colors, brother. You just paint. Because those are just colors. Words are like colors. Just use the paint to paint your picture and don't worry about anything else. And other people are gonna maybe paint the same thing as you, but it will never look like yours. They're gonna paint flowers, it's gonna look like Monet. I'm gonna paint flowers, it's gonna look like Degas. It's like, it's different. Just be yourself, use the paint. And from that point on, I think I even stopped caring about that kind of stuff. And to me, it just, look, I literally can right now give you the names of 10 comedians that are 15 years younger than me. And I can go watch this special mine, this special mine, this special mine, and watch them and show you that they literally lifted my stuff. I can show you comedians that act like me on stage, that do moves like me on stage. I'm an influence. I get it. I'm cool with that. I just hate the fact that people are getting into the business of stand-up comedy when they don't know what we are and what we do. They don't know that we think the same. They don't know that if you put 10 of us in a room and one thing that we're all almost going to come up with the same joke that we've never talked about before. They don't know any of that stuff. So they live in a world where, somebody does a Trump joke looking like an orangutan and then somebody else does. Well, yeah, there's only a few animals in the world that are orange. Like, what the fuck you think I'm gonna call them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a very basic thing. He looks like an orangutan. It writes itself. It's just easy stuff, right? The Oompa Loompa. I am positive I'm not the only person that has called him a Oompa Loompa or a giant Oompa Loompa or whatever it is. He's orange. It writes itself, right? I don't live in that. But the fact that a lot of other people will see that and go, oh, you know what I mean? I think that, like, that's it. Like, I just hate that. And I don't want to live in that. And I wish we didn't live in that. I wish we just do your act. Do your shit. Do whatever you wrote that comes to you and kill it and walk away from it. You don't have to put anybody down. You don't have to tell everybody that you're better. You don't have to tell everybody what they did and what you did and how to compare it. Just do you, man. Be you. Do what you do to the best of your ability. Walk off stage with pride, and that's it. And that's where I wish we all lived. But maybe it's because I've been through what I've been through. Maybe it's because I dealt with that stuff. But I don't think that that's the case, bro. In 1994, I did a special, and I did a TV show called Loco Slam. And they said, you get one comedian that is yours and yours alone. Whether they suck or not, you get to put them on. Like, you get to get them on the stage. If they eat a dick, they probably won't be on the show. But you can do it. Show, I was like, Juan Villarreal. Love this guy. He's incredible. One of the funniest dudes I've ever met. To this day, nobody makes me laugh like him. Let's do it. Let's get him on. So he does the show, does a 6-minute set. The show airs. 3 months later, I get a phone call from him. He's like, hey, bro, are you going to be in Corpus Christi anytime soon? I said, I was there not too long ago, probably in about a year. What's up? He goes, I got paid $3,000, bro, to do a headlining set. I've never seen that kind of money in my life. I go, good for you. He goes, I don't have 45 minutes, Carlos. I go, I know. I did your act, bro. That's why I'm telling you. So if you go back there, maybe you should do some new stuff. Don't do your old shit. And I was like, the stuff from my HBO special? And he's like, well, yeah, most of that stuff. And I was like, are you serious, dude? He's like, I'm very serious. I was like, oh, God, I love you so much, bro. Yeah, whatever. I guess they're your training wheels. Move on. And so I never got upset about it, even though that happened to me even then. At that moment, you know what I thought? I thought, I'm just going to write new stuff and come up with a new special, and that was it, and move on. The great part of the story was that he then got picked up to do a USO tour for about 6 months. And little by little, right, he was becoming more himself and writing more of his own stuff. But at one point, somebody confronted him and were like, hey, I just want you to know. And he called me and told me this. He goes, there's a dude named Carlos Mencia that's doing your jokes. And I looked at him and I went, what did you fucking do? Did you at least tell him that that's my shit? He goes, bro, I freaked out. I don't know what to do. So I looked at him and I went, that motherfucker. I'm like, oh, you piece of shit. You dick. Oh, you dick. And I was like, but we laugh at it. We laugh at it to this day. To this day, we laugh at it. And, you know, what he'll say to you is, one thing, I was new in the game. And when you don't know shit about stand-up comedy, you think you're supposed to share jokes. Because that's what you do in real life. Right? Somebody comes and goes, hey, man, have you heard this joke? Dude walks into a bar, blah, 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 blah. What do you do with that? You go tell somebody else that joke, right? Somebody tells you a really funny story. What do? You tell somebody else that funny story. So he was conflating the two worlds, not understanding the stand-up world is different, bro. Yeah. You don't do other people's jokes. That's professional. He didn't get that. Plus, he'll tell you right now, he goes, hey, listen, I stole a car. He said this in an interview one time. He goes, I stole a car and I got a year in jail and 5 years probation. I stole Carlos Mencia's material and I made over $150,000. And like that just brutal honesty, it was just, I can't shit on him. I can't hate on him. But I also think that, you know, comedians need to understand that, you know, we're going to influence others. We're going to make other people think and feel, you know, differently, or they're going to influence me. I'm going to influence them. This is the way the world works. But just focus on what you're doing, man. Like, you know, there is a way for you to shine without ever telling people, hey, that guy sucks, or that guy's bad, or that guy did this. And that's the stuff that I just don't care to engage in. And, you know, I never really did. So I'm grateful that I didn't go that route. But I'm you know, I don't think that we should be going there. Period.